tread on danger wild animals. We take a relaxing dip with one of nature's great mud-loving giants. We hang out with a family who've turned their home into a sanctuary for a very special endangered species. And we take a walk on the wild side with a tiny cassowary. First up, we take a trip to Thailand for a close encounter with one of the animal kingdom's most spellbinding species.
It's impossible to describe just what it feels like to be this close to such an awesome creature.
Sally is a special guest at this extraordinary tiger sanctuary, where people live side by side with these ferocious felines, which, for now at least, look more like pussycats. Especially in the loving hands of Abbot Puzit, the founder and soul of this heavenly place. The abbot's Buddhist philosophy has taught him to see each one of these furry predators as his friend, his father, and his mother. His family includes 18 Bengal tigers, with names like Storm and Great Sky. Here at the Buddhist temple in Kanchanaburi, it's a surreal scene, a menagerie of horses, boars, peacocks, chickens, even bears, all happily coexisting. Sally gets to walk with the tigers to the daily breakfast ritual. The temple vet, Dr. Somchai, seems rather jovial and relaxed. Sally, on the other hand, looks a little nervous, especially when one-year-old Janapa decides to play up. According to Dr. Somchai, all Sally needs is to take deep breaths and have a brave heart as she heads up the steps of the beautiful shrine. Local villagers bring food every day for the abbot and his monks. On the wooden platform, 2 tigers stretch out and luxuriate. It's time for their daily treat of milk tablets.
This is extraordinary.
Deep breaths, Sally.
His tongue is so soft. I can't believe it. It's not even really rough. Ooh. I touched a tooth then.
Nice work. But around wild animals, it's best not to get too relaxed.
Oh, it's okay. Okay. So you know how.
Luckily, Dr. Somchai has the magic touch. Tiger boys and girls, as they're called here, help look after these awesome animals. And volunteers from around the world just want to get involved. The Tiger Haven began 8 years ago, when locals brought a badly injured cub to the monks. More orphans kept coming. These 2 recent arrivals were born here at the sanctuary. Abbot Puzit is an extremely happy and proud father of 2 new daughters.
This is my daughter. I said to you, I have...
His next job is to look for 2 suitable sons-in-law. Through donations, the abbot's dream is to buy enough land for his tigers to run free all day. For now, they sleep in cages, and during the day are exercised by the volunteers and staff. This is their favourite time, when they play rough in the brown waters of their own swimming pool. The only defence is the ever-alert tiger boys and those poles. Later in the show, we find out how you too can meet these tigers face to face.
Hey, ease up, ease up. That's not what we want.
Any guesses as to the identity of this funny-looking fellow? It's the proud, strutting boss of the rainforest, the magnificent cassowary. They can be a little fussy with their food.
Love the watermelon.
In the cassowary world, females lay the eggs, and the fellas do all the work, sitting on the nest, then looking after the chicks. It all sounds very domestic, but cassowaries aren't an animal you want to mess with.
They're really powerful, about the same force as a male red kangaroo. Have a look at the power in those legs, that incisor in the middle. They jump up to about chest height and then rake down with enormous force, potentially splitting whichever thread it was open.
Tim is very bravely preparing to step into an enclosure with one of these powerful creatures.
Good morning, chookies.
OK, so he's not game to get in with one of the big fellas. A little chick is more his size.
Love your grapes.
This little guy is Foghorn, and his mate is a chicken called Leghorn. Foghorn was rescued from a nest of infertile eggs. The keepers had to intervene and remove the chick because he was being neglected. He was put in with Leghorn so he would learn how to eat. And if a chicken can teach him a thing or two, Tim reckons he can as well.
Time for your walk. Thanks, Cass. Come on, mate. There you go.
Today, he's being Dad and taking Foghorn for a walk. At just 2 months old, Foghorn is still finding his feet.
Danny, come on, let's go.
In the wild, Dad is their safety net, guarding them against predators. Staying nice and close to Dad often means bumping into his legs.
Come on, guys.
Spare a thought for the poor male cassowary in the wild, which could have 5 or 6 insecure chicks getting under his feet. Meanwhile, Foghorn has got a little off track. Hey, little fella, here's your buddy.
Come on, mate.
There you go. That was the fun bit. Now for something Foghorn absolutely hates. The weigh-in.
Come on, mate. Hey, settle down. So, have a look at that. That's called playing dead.
It's a tactic they instinctively adopt when threatened by a predator. The best way to get him to the scales is to pop him in a bag. The darkness settles him.
The reason that we weigh him is just, hey, easy, mate, easy, is just for a routine health check. We need to know that he's gaining weight, not losing weight, and that we don't have any health problems associated with that. 2.3 kilos. So he's up 300 grams in a week.
It's all good. At this rate, it won't be long before Foghorn stands a full 2 meters tall. Bet he won't be playing dead then.
Come on, let's go.
Coming face to face with wildlife is always a big thrill. But you don't need to venture into the wild to meet spectacular creatures. Today we're going to have a very special encounter with one of everyone's favourites, and a rather large one at that. 28-year-old Hippo Harry may not look threatening dozing on his private beach at the zoo, but up close it's a different story.
Good. Just have to be a little bit more careful with him than Tulip. Yeah. Good.
Keeper Lance Veldhagen is one of Harry's biggest admirers. And let's face it, there's a lot to love. More than 2,000 kilos of pure power.
Have it. Good.
These daily tactile sessions are important as Harry and his hippo family are still settling into their new enclosure called Kubu River hippos. There's Tulip, Harry's 4-year-old daughter, her nervous mum Primrose, and a 17-year-old female Brindabella. But Harry is definitely the most imposing. Those gigantic canines can grow up to about 30 centimetres long. Meanwhile, his top teeth rub against his bottom ones, whittling them into very sharp points. Harry and his fellow hippos are also capable of opening their mouths wider than any other land animal. Say ah. Normally a gentle giant, Harry gets a bit more excitable in peak breeding season. His way of attracting female attention is to confront her nose to nose and start snorting. The enamoured lady hippo will signal her approval with a feminine wag of her tail. Lance doesn't usually like to lock them in, because if they don't see their escape route to water, they can get pretty nervous.
Open. Good.
Clearly, Primrose and Tulip have quite an appetite, which may account for their bulk. But boy, can they move if they want to. In fact, hippos have been recorded travelling up to 35 kilometres an hour. Here, in their new surrounds, there's no need to rush. Life is a little more laid back. In the wild, hippos sleep all day and graze at night. Their skin is quite thin, which makes these great beasts vulnerable to sunburn. When he's in the mood for female company, Harry is often up for a chat. Apparently, the mornings and evenings are when he likes to get vocal. It doesn't matter whether you're a seasoned animal lover or seeing a hippo for the first time. There's one common response.
Wow.
I completely agree. Who could these weird little feet belong to? Judging by this adorable little face, it must be a tiny baby flying fox, a type of bat. And we're about to meet a delightful family who've opened their hearts and their home to a whole load of these fascinating creatures.
Looks all right at the moment, but... Hello. Yeah, we'll get it into care. Hello, you poor thing. She looks pretty good.
When flying foxes are injured or suffering from heat stress, the Brown household in suburban Melbourne is a pretty cool place to hang out.
Hello, you hungry?
Beverly is the official wildlife carer, but with extra little mouths to feed, husband Terry and kids Jessie and Jamie all pitch in to help.
Well, we love those, don't you? Okay.
And it's all hands on deck at feeding time.
So guys, is this every day we're chopping up this much fruit?
Every single day.
Nikki is about to be formally introduced to the newest member of the Brown family.
She loves it in there. She loved it. It's like being wrapped up in her mum's wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call this a mama. When they're this young, they can't thermoregulate, so they can't make their own body heat. So we have to keep them warm, not too warm and not too cold.
And it's all pink.
She's a girl, a little girl.
Very nice.
Now, in some parts of the world, these little creatures may be thought of as pests, so why save them?
Actually, there aren't too many bats around at all. There used to be something like 30 million back in the...
Wow.
Yes. Now we're only down to 300,000 in the whole of Australia. So they're slowly diminishing.
You know that expression, blind as a bat? Well, guess what? They're not blind at all. In fact, they have very good vision, particularly at night. No.
And those incredible wings may look extremely fragile, but they're surprisingly strong. The wings carry a huge network of veins and nerves, ensuring a very effective blood supply to its long fingers and claws.
And they have an elbow?
They do.
If a flying fox's wing gets damaged, it will heal itself quickly, in a matter of a few weeks. Once Beverly and her family have restored their clinging foster children to good health, it's time to release them back into the wild.
And then when you have to let them go, how's that?
Oh, I miss them dreadfully, but you know, once they're back out in the wild, you've done your job.
Yeah, and there's
Done it
always
well.
another one.
Always another one. There will be. Yes.
Back in Thailand, Abbot Pusit and his awe-inspiring family of tigers have become local legends. Thousands of people make the dusty trip to this sanctuary to witness the power of love for all animals, great and small.
It's all right, sweetheart. Good girl.
No time to linger, though. Abbot Pusit is waiting. The mischievous monk has decided to make Sally run down to the canyon with a tiger, leading the way on his trusty scooter.
It's exhilarating, actually.
Sally's heart is getting more and more brave as she rests her hand on the powerful haunch of a hunter.
I feel great. I'm gonna cry.
At the canyon, the abbot is busy directing traffic, making sure all his tigers are behaving for their photo opportunity. The massive cats know the routine and are remarkably docile.
Don't be naughty.
The abbot has warned them that they'll get no chicken if they're naughty. And visitors are briefed before they venture out. They're asked not to wear bright colours or to make sudden movements around the tigers.
You can hear his heartbeat.
For Abbot Pusit, the sanctuary is proof that all creatures can live together in peace.
Yes?
Yes, definitely yes.
Okay.
I feel like a different person.
More than 1 million people have experienced the magic of the Australian Butterfly Sanctuary since it opened in Kuranda nearly 25 years ago. Des is getting a peek behind the scenes of its incredible breeding program. This technician is gently transferring baby caterpillars onto some fresh new leaves. The caterpillars are tiny, so the touch has to be as light as a feather. As the caterpillars get bigger, so do their homes.
Here we've got one of the baby boxes up close.
These are destined to become Ulysses butterflies, a protected species with distinctive vivid blue colouring, which makes them attractive to birds and other predators. But when it comes to eating, this big bloke's the champ. It will turn into a birdwing butterfly, the largest species in Australia. It's poisonous.
And you know what? If it gets threatened, it pops 2 bright red horns out the top of its head.
Eventually, the big fella will turn into a chrysalis. The exterior will harden, the body inside will liquefy, then cell by cell will reform itself into a butterfly. This is the sanctuary's maternity centre.
It's really important that they come out nice and quietly here. They can, puff their wings up nicely.
You'll wait a while for a Hercules moth. They can take up to 18 months to emerge. But then they are the largest moth in the world. Once they're out, they only live for 4 or 5 days. Fraternising with the opposite sex is a common theme. I wonder what these two are up
Birdwing
to.
couple mating.
Mating.
Ken's birdwing females pump sedatives into the males to put them to sleep. During mating, it's the female's job to watch out for predators. If there's danger, she'll fly him off to safety. It's really quite romantic. Butterflies may only enjoy a very short life. But what a truly colourful life it is. Time for us to fly. See you again soon on Danger Wild Animals.